and slide presentations. Came a long way on that this year. Next slide. I can advance them. And so we want to do more of that this year. Which is going to be the topic of our monthly meeting later this month, brainstorming ideas on creating new and varied presentations, and also involve more members as volunteers. When we do our breakout groups here, maybe we can talk a little more about that. Next, please. Okay, so these are our steering committee members. 96, so we just passed 100 on our email list. By the way, which is mostly due to the monthly articles that we're putting out, each about our presentations that we're doing, our video presentations and virtual tours. Each article we put out gets us about another 10 people to our email list. So we're growing by leaps and bounds, and hopefully we can get people more focused on and enthusiastic about the landscape here, which is already really beautiful. Next, please.
And Barbara.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. And Barbara.
Hi. Well, as you see, what I do is announce our meetings in the Rossmore News and try and make them sound so interesting that everybody wants to attend. Also, we wrote some additional articles, one on Ecosia. And then Robert Manning had the idea that we would do a compilation of articles about what some of our committees are doing for publication in the Rossmore News. And I want to thank all the people that helped write those. And then we also talked about the Walnut Creek City Council Candidates Forum that was set up by or coordinated by Sustainable Rossmore. And we wanted to publicize that for all of Rossmore. Next. So I'll just say that underlined there, thank you, whoever did that, that I would like us to submit more articles on important things like Ecosia and tree planting, just to highlight them and keep them in everybody's view.
Right. Thank you. And Bob, you want to talk a little bit about Earth Matters?
Yeah, not much to say. You all see it in there. We
Yep.
have a great group of writers now, getting more people all the time. And so that's good because it means that each of us doesn't have to come up with an article quite so often as we used to have. And this coming year, we're going to be having an Earth Matters column once a week instead of every other week. So
Great.
I hope that'll work out.
And I assume you're always looking for more writers, right?
Yeah, not desperately though. You can see I've got quite a few, so
Okay,
we're not hurting.
good. Okay, thanks. And Barry, you want to talk about UOG, upping our game?
Well, about a year ago, we launched we voted on and as an entire organization, we agreed on 4 focuses for these 4 campaigns listed here: vote climate, planet-friendly eating, tree planting and preservation, and renewable energy. And so that was the culmination of a lot of work to come to that. Next slide. So now we're looking to get more people involved, and starting with this meeting, we also want to launch fundraising platforms for organizations and support existing committees. That's really it. The next slide has who the current committee members are and who past committee members were. So that's all I have to say.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And let me give a heads up to, and Don McGregor, down at the end, we're going to tap you to give us, some information on what you're looking for for Earth Month. Okay.
Brad, before we
Yep.
go on, I think we should have everyone unmute and really give a round of applause to
Good
to the
idea.
entire organization. It's amazing looking through this whole list of what our club, what the individual committees have all accomplished this year. This is quite a dynamic organization. So I think
Good job, gang. Okay. And so now our challenge is, is to see if we can do an even better job this year. Don't want to rest on our laurels, right? So. And so, and with that and in mind, as I mentioned at the very beginning, Barry and I, and the other two members of the UOG committee, Carolyn and Don McGregor, met 3 times for a couple hours each, to come up with a list of what we thought would be potential new, campaign ideas for us to take on. And then we also pulled in onto this list, and this list goes over 2 pages. This is only the first 5. We pulled on items from each of the committees. For example, you look on here, number 2, convince First Mutual go solar, and that's was Adrian's from the Renewable Energy Committee. And so we've come up with this list. And again, you can see what all those are. That's the first 5. And then here's the
solar and storage was which one it came from, but
right.
Go ahead.
And so here's the other 5. And so the primary thing we're going to do next is, we're going to, I think, Barry, aren't we going to have everybody talk about each one of those ones quickly and why it's important?
We're going to go through the first 9 of these potential campaigns, and we're going to have people speak 1 slide worth on each of these campaigns.
Right.
And then we're going to have each person decide which one resonates most with them. And we're going to go into breakout rooms for each of these campaigns to see what ideas we can come up with.
And so just to be a little bit more redundant, so for example, if one of you felt that item number 7 on this list, reducing food waste, was the campaign topic that you're most interested in working on, you would go into breakout room number 7, which should be labeled reducing food waste. And obviously this is our way of finding out how many people are willing to work on a topic. And then we've got a couple other things that we want the people that have chosen each of these campaign topics to then do tonight. Nothing strenuous. It's just something we need done from a formation standpoint. Okay. And so I'm not going to show this for very long. This is the steering committee, as it's currently comprised. A couple things is you notice that Paul Erickson is now the membership chair. Kathy Seidel is member relations, which is different than member records. Because, and then what other changes do I need to call out, Barry? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, Don
Okay.
McGregor
Oh, that's right,
as
Don.
program chair.
Yep.
And we welcome Bob Hansen back on Earth Matters.
Yep.
He had gone away and he's come back. And then if you want contact information for any of these people, you click on that little link next to Brad's name, and that'll take you to the website, to the Sustainable Rossmore website, where you can get their contact information. And you can click on that once you get the link to get to these slides.
And just to give Paul Motoraki a heads up, and tomorrow I'm going to email you a Word doc with some of the changes we need to make. So for example, right now on the website, there's Don's name is not on program chair. It's and you need to make some others. I lay them all out. Okay. Onward.
Okay. Don's is on program. I need his phone number.
Okay, and that's in the email. I'll send you tomorrow. Okay, and I think most of you probably have seen this saying before, but I think it's always good for us to to reread it. Okay. So Barry is going to talk about the item campaign topic number 1. And you're muted, Barry.
As a result of the extensive analysis that Marilyn had spoken about, that the Tree Planting and Preservation Committee did, we uncovered organizations that are very efficient in combating climate change. Eden Reforestation Project is the most efficient that we found. For every $100 that they receive, they end up planting over 1,000 trees being planted in rainforest areas. That's enough carbon offsets to cover 275 Bay Area residents their carbon offsets for 1 year for just $100. And the other thing that we like about Eden is that they are environmental justice. They give the poorest of the people in these areas a dignity and a living wage, and in teaching them how to properly plant and care for these trees. Currently, they're funded mostly by Ecosia, but they also have a means of raising funds by having people launch campaigns through their email and Facebook and other networks that they have. But their ability to plant more trees is really limited by their ability to generate funds. And so what we are looking to do is to create a fundraising platform for them. They currently only have about, in terms of individuals, they only have like 50 or so individuals trying to individually raise funds outside of Ecosia. And we feel that we can launch a platform across the country and then even expand it further, but we'll start small, to having a lot of people help raise funds for this organization by sending emails and other things to their networks. The work that people would do if they want to help out on this effort would be to help critique and develop the web pages that people will have people donate to, and also creating the emails or talking points to recruit fundraisers across America. So that's Eden Reforestation
Now,
project.
am I supposed to be still timing this?
How, Brad? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we probably want to do that. I probably
Yes.
want to have it be 2 minutes per
Okay.
person. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm over, I'm sure.
okay, yeah, you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Adrian. I think we lost Adrian.
No, he's there.
No, here I am. I'm somewhere in the ether, don't worry.
No, I wasn't worried.
So this whole sort of project or initiative emerged over last year. And it really goes to the idea that it's better if we can do a whole mutual as a solar system. The trying to do it as an individual just doesn't work all that well. The economics are not as good as they would be if we did it for tens or hundreds of units. And I raised this idea with a number of different people. And John Moe, who's the president of First Mutual, really thought this was a great idea. And so we've had a number of conversations. I presented some things to the First Mutual board, and they have actually decided to put together a small committee of First Mutual residents to look into this in a detailed way. Now, the great thing about First Mutual, of course, is it's our largest mutual. It's 1,878 residences. And if we were to go solar there, where we put, the mutual bought the solar systems and it was installed across the entire mutual, the residents would save something like $25 to $35 million over the next 20 years. They would lock in a fixed cost for electricity of about 17 cents a kilowatt hour versus what they're spending now, which is about 28 cents. So it really makes a big difference from the perspective of the economics. Of course, it makes a huge difference in terms of, the carbon dioxide that we will eliminate from the air, and other things that we can do later on in terms of removing gas furnaces, replacing with heat pumps, things of that nature. Time? Oh, okay. Anyway, so what I need is people to help support that committee, to explore financial and legal questions, and to develop explanatory materials for the people in First Mutual.
Okay, great. Thanks, Adrian. Okay, and Adrian's up again.
Oh, I'm up again. Okay. So I alluded to this a little bit. Space and water heating, it takes up 70% of the energy you use in your home. And if you're using gas, as a lot of places here are, that's fossil fuels, obviously. Electric heat pumps can be used to both heat and cool your home and also to heat your water. They get powered from the solar if we put solar on your roofs. And so it eliminates fossil fuels. There are grants, there are rebates available to actually offset the cost of these things. And they're not any more expensive than the regular old gas furnace or gas water heater that you already have. So I'm thinking that we could have an initiative here where we identify the heat pumps that are suitable for Rossmore that we could use to replace, identify people who can come in and do the work for you and who are good suppliers and reputable people, and then start promoting heat pumps as replacements across Rossmore, just like we promoted the idea of putting solar on your roof, so that eventually over a period of 2 or 3 years, people would start to get the idea that, oh, okay, I can actually save a lot of gas, I can reduce my costs, I can help the planet by putting in heat pumps when my old gas furnace dies.
Great. Okay, thanks. And Barry. You're muted again, Barry.
So we currently have Planet Friendly Eating, which is doing great service in getting people to think about eating in a more planet-friendly way. Another approach is because beef is as Dave Casey has shown in the past, beef is the worst actor in terms of the overall cycle of it promoting greenhouse gases. So it would be another approach is it would be easier if we could minimize changing people's habits here, and we could do that with plant-based beef there, which is helping to get is making inroads in beef in general, and we can just promote the use of plant-based beef. So work that we could do, we could have cookouts, promote recipes using plant-based beef, that type of thing as a way of being friendly to the planet and minimizing having to change people's habits.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, Carol, you want to talk about, you already did this, just so you, is there anything else you'd like to add to what you said earlier?
For the whole year. Hopefully we can move on this and get things happening in about 2 months. So the real crunch time is not just people who would come to this breakout. I'm hoping that everybody writes a letter and also speaks for 2 minutes. And if you've signed the petition, you've gotten the details of the links and when and where and so forth. If you don't remember getting that, or you haven't signed the petition yet, I put the link in the chat. So you can go there, just enter your name, and you'll get that information. So
Great. Okay. Next is affiliate partnership. Brad, you want to talk about that? Sure, don't mind if I do. And one of the things that has become clearer and clearer to me the deeper I get into this work and the political work that I did last year is that almost everything we want to do, there are already really good organizations out there doing it, and so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And a lot of times what we can do is offer them assistance using the semi-unique or unique skill sets that we have that they may benefit from that they don't have. And so that's what the synergies are. And so what I envisioned this group, this committee doing is coming up with and maintaining a list of the various environmental organizations that we can and should look at connecting with, and then find out which of our members might already be members, and get them to report back, attend their meetings, and help us just deepen the relationship and work together. So that's what that's all about. And Carol, you're reducing food waste.
I gave a new slide, but this isn't it. But anyway, maybe it is. Excuse me. I didn't realize it has so much stuff on it. So if you're interested in the number 2 solution for lowering greenhouse gases, according to Drawdown, is reducing food waste. Only thing that's more important is electrifying transportation. So for all the reasons that are listed there, if you're interested in discussing ways to reduce food waste and help Rossmorians and other people outside Rossmore to do that, then come to room 7, breakout session 7.
Great. Okay. And I can already see one of the challenges that a lot of us are going to have is wanting to be in more than one place at the same time.
And if that's the case for this one, you can just write me. I put my email in the chat also. So let me know if you're interested in doing this in addition to whatever else you commit to.
Right. Great. Thanks. Okay. And Carol, anything else you want to talk about the idle free?
I don't think, let's see. I didn't even submit a link for that. I just knew we were too busy. So,
That's
nope,
okay.
I said this already.
Yep, okay.
There's a link on the website.
Thank you. Yes, Paul.
And Barry, recycled water? Oh, you're muted again, Barry.
While we are rightly mostly focused on combating climate change through reducing greenhouse gas emissions and CO2, we do have to realize that where we are, we're probably going to be increasingly limited by the amount of water that we have. And last year, we had started a committee to help look at alternatives, bringing water to Walnut Creek, whether this is water currently recycled in Martinez. GRF has had a project looking at recycling water right at Rossmore, but just continuing to look at solutions there, and so that as things get more, as things get warmer and water becomes more of an issue, we are prepared to provide solutions to GRF and to Walnut Creek.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mhm.
And so, do we want to take any questions quickly before we get into the breakout rooms, or should we just go
Sure.
quick?
Sure, we can take questions at this point.
Okay. Then anybody have any questions? Rose.
I have a question about the heat pump. Do you have to have a solar energy on your roof, solar panels, to be able to use the heat pump?
Okay. No, you don't. The heat pump runs just off your regular electricity. But if you do have solar on your roof, then that electricity, of course, is guaranteed to be fossil free. So,
Or if you've already opted up to MCE's 100% deep green.
yeah, or PG&Es. So
Right.
it's a nice way of getting, and the heat pumps use about a quarter to a third of the energy, the total energy that a gas furnace uses. And so you're actually using less energy overall, and then it's also coming from electricity, not fossil, and so it can be, I mean, it's like totally virtuous.
Right.
Because
I mean, you mean like me, right? Any other questions?
I have, I guess what is plant-based beef?
So plant-based beef, there are products on the market now. One of them is Impossible Burger that is sold at a lot of places. There are other ones that are offered in the meat sections of in supermarkets that are not from cattle, but are based on plants. So it is a beef substitute.
Okay.
Okay.
What plants is it made from? Do you know? Are there different ones?
They're all different ones, and some of them amazingly mimic the texture and feel of beef very well.
Thank you.
Okay, and so here are the, again, here are the 10 breakout rooms we're going to give you the opportunity to go into. And so if you look at the bottom right hand column under instructions, so what Barry will quickly throw up on our screens is a list of the 10 breakout rooms, and to the very far right of each of the line of each one of them is on, it should be a little link that says join. You click on that and you will semi-instantaneously be transported into that breakout room in Zoom. And then once you do that, what we want, and everyone gets into the breakout room, we want you, as you can see, number 3 is first thing to do is just pick somebody who will, in fact, document, who all came and who all is willing to work on this topic. And then number 4 will provide that with the name and contact info for each of the people. Reason being is that number 5, you're going to select an acting committee chair, someone who then can and will, take that list of contact information and schedule the first committee meeting to get things started. Okay. And so it's not difficult. It's just if we don't do that, then we can't go too much forward. Okay. And then also what you can do is after you've been in that room for a while and you want to move on, you can actually leave that and go to a different room. Yeah. Okay. And so this time it's, and then when we're all done, you'll be called back to the main room and we'll finish up from there.
All right. Now, when we tested this out, so people can choose which breakout room they want to go to. I don't know if people are seeing it. I see that Adrian has gone into First Mutual Solar. Do other people see this list? Okay. Yeah, people are starting to go into rooms. So we're going.
All I can see is the redirecting to our future breakout. I don't see any option.
Okay.
Me too. I just see where you were last slide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. All I see is Barry's presentation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, people are, that's interesting because a number of people are joining. I don't know.
Here's another. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Mine's still not there.
Where are we supposed to be looking?
Well,
along the bottom, Dale. Look along the bottom where you have the chat.
Is there breakout rooms?
No.
Okay. So we see people joining First Mutual.
On the bottom, it says more and click on more and join breakout room. Is there.
I don't see more.
I see more.
The 3 dots.
Huh?
3 dots and then more is right under that.
No, I don't see any at the bottom.
Maybe people's have different computers. On mine, I have an icon on the bottom bar that says breakout rooms. And when I click on that, I get a full list. But when I click on my desired breakout room, nothing happens.
Same here.
I don't want to leave. I just see participants chat, share screen, record, and reactions along the bottom.
And I only see chat, meetings, settings, minimize meetings, and virtual background.
People have different.
Yeah.
I'm on an iPad.
Yeah, Patty had has the choice on her computer, but she came and looked, but it's not on mine. So.
Well, okay, I can assign people.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, so let me see who's not assigned. Dale, which do you want to go to?
7, please.
Pardon me?
7. SEVEN.
Oh, 7. Okay. Okay. Gil Peterson.
First Mutual Solar.
Okay. Jacqueline.
First Mutual Solar.
Okay. Lena.
Food waste.
Okay. Marilyn.
Eden Reforest fundraising. When I click
Okay.
on it, Bilberry, nothing happens. Oh, it worked.
Okay. Very good. Patty. Paul.
First Mutual Solar, please.
Okay. And Patty Quick. Okay. Patty, you are muted. I can't hear you. Why don't you let me look at your picture and you tell me, hold up how many fingers for the number you want. So number 1. Number 1 as in Eden Reforestation, or number 1 as in First Mutual? Hold on, let me see if I can. No. Okay, so First Mutual Solar is number 2. If that's what you want, put up 2. And if you want Eden, put up 1 finger. I can't see how many fingers you have up.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now. Patty, tell me what number you want.
Number 7.
Number 7. Very good. Okay, let me get you there. Okay. Marilyn, hi. Thank you for joining this one. So
Are we the only 2?
But since we're the only 2, and we're going to be working on it anyway.
Yeah.
So why don't you, if you choose another
Choose another
one
group?
on that list, yes.
Okay, can I go back and look at that list so I can?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Well, let me just tell you the list. So it's First Mutual Solar, building decarbonization. No one is there. Plant-based beef. There are 3 people there. Reducing food waste. There are a lot of people there. There's like 7 people there. Water sustainability is room 9, has 2 people. And then Richard is just in room 10. So I would suggest either going to water sustainability, or reducing food waste, or plant-based beef, or First Mutual Solar. Oh wait, Brad. Oh, Brad just joined us here. Are you joining just to see what's happening, Brad?
I'm good.
Brad, you are muted.
No, I joined because no one else came into my affiliate.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. So,
which is what I see. That's what I expected.
So what I had to do, Brad, for about about half the people could not get to the break room. So I asked them individually, and then I assigned them. So
it could have been an operating system issue. I mean, they could be on Apples. They could have been.
Yeah, but anyway, but we got there. So
Good.
now I'm suggesting Marilyn go to another room. So, but people have voted, and this is great because now we know the interest is in First Mutual Solar and plant-based beef, which I thought I did a terrible job of selling that. So I'm amazed there are people there. Reducing.
Then you better get over there.
Reducing food waste and water sustainability. I'm going to go to water sustainability first to see.
Now, is that about recycling?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think that sounds interesting.
Okay, then I'm going to move you to there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to head over there as well. Okay.
Leave me here all by myself. Okay.
Well,
and the Casey's just joined the plant-based beef.
Yeah, yeah, they're there as well. I'm going to join water sustainability and see what they want to do.
Okay.
Oh, there's Barry. Good.
Hi
All
there.
we've been talking about so far is how much trouble we've had trying to get vaccinated. We haven't got any farther than that. I'm sorry.
Well, that is a very important issue.
It is.
So anyway, we will
Yeah.
all be vaccinated in a couple of months, but this transition time is driving people crazy.
Pits, really
Yeah.
the pits.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's for sure.
Hey, Barry, would you tell this crew to focus?
No. Are you joining, Brad, or are you just kibitzing?
I just came in to tell you guys to focus on.
He's roving. He's roving around.
Okay.
So how long do we have here?
Well, yeah.
20 minutes if you need it, but if not, you can go back early.
Or you can go to another breakout room. So so first we need a scribe who will take down contact information. Thank you, Paula. You are a
Because
gem.
I have access to everyone's contact information already.
You do. So you can put me down. Well, put these 3-4 people down. Paul, I'm pleased to meet you. You know, I've seen good things that you've posted, but I haven't actually seen who you are. So it's good to see who you are.
I think I know who I am, but sometimes I'm not so sure.
Very good. Is Don in another room or?
Well, he's not here, so.
Okay, very good.
Actually, he's right down the hallway. So.
Okay, very good. So this was this committee probably would handle one of the most important things in the future of Rossmore, but that we haven't really developed good solutions for. But so it is very important. I'm assuming, Paula, you don't need us to give you any contact information since you have it.
No, I got everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah.
You know, so my viewpoint as my training is as chemical engineer. I have a PhD in chemical engineering. You know, the worst case from my viewpoint is what happened down in San Diego, where they were at the end of is it the Colorado River? I forget which river it was, but they weren't getting any water at all. And so they opted, since they are near the ocean, to actually put in a reverse osmosis plant to convert that salt water to fresh water. And that was a difficult decision. What it ended up costing San Diego was about $1,000 a person to do that. But once they did that, they no longer had water as a limitation to their lifestyle, to their growth, or whatever. We stand about, I don't know, 15 miles from a saltwater source from the bay. I could be wrong about that length. So I mean, I view that as a worst case. You know, we aren't that far from water, from a water source that's not fresh water, but that's a worst case. And there's a lot of other cases that are a lot less expensive than that case as a solution. Martinez, the city they spent about $180 million to put in a recycling facility. The reason they put that in was in service to the refineries who they thought needed that source of water. The refineries at the time did not trust, or whatever happened, the refineries decided to create their own recycled water systems. And so Martinez was left with this expensive system and not a market for this recycled water. So last year we were trying to of course, it was during the pandemic, but we wanted to get tours of the recycled recycled water area, and wanted to talk to people about, so what is involved in bringing that recycled water in those purple pipes down to Rossmore, down to Oak Grove Golf Course to be used. And is that an alternative compared to, or is that a better alternative than trying to do recycled water to reprocess water at Rossmore? Anyway, the person who was the moving force of that committee, Bigley, I'm forgetting his name, I'm sorry. But anyway, unfortunately, he passed away this past year from, but not from COVID, from other ailments. So so we don't have, he was very knowledgeable. He used to work for the water, or he spent his career in looking at water systems and water solutions. So that committee has lost its subject matter expert, and it is a big problem. And to the extent that we can provide some expertise to it, it would be great. I mean, right now GRF they're looking at a water recycling system. They've put that on hold, and but I know Tim is committed to wanting, in the interest of maintaining property values at Rossmore and maintaining the lifestyle here. Rossmore is marketed as a golf community. And with golf courses, you think of green and you think of needing a lot of water, which isn't necessarily the most sustainable thing going forward. But you know, they're committed to wanting to develop solutions to that. And if we can help out with these issues, I think it would be a real service to our community.
Gary, I have
Paul,
a question.
I'm sorry, but Paul had his hand raised first, so I'll let him go first, and then I'll answer your question. Paul, go ahead.
I wanted to say that many years ago, I lived in Tucson, Arizona, and Tucson was my first exposure to living in a community that was, like all communities are, heavily reliant on water. And our water supply was tenuous at best. Arizona lives on both water pumped from below ground and also from the Colorado River. And that causes all kinds of problems. I was involved in Tucson in a political campaign to stop my area from being incorporated on its own rather than being annexed by the city. And our group succeeded politically in our campaign. And when we met together to celebrate our success, we wondered what we might next turn our attention to. And I wanted us to focus on water. And it was interesting at that time, this would have been back in the late 90s, that people said that is way too complicated and we can't understand the issues. And so it was my introduction to a problem that is complex and that people felt wary of because of its complexity, and learned or realized that if you're going to talk with people about water, you have to be able to present the problem in a simple and clear way, not to make it simple-minded, but to present it in a way that does not feel as if people are drowning, no pun intended, in the problem itself and how you explain it. And that, I'm guessing, might be part of what we could apply here to this issue.
Very good, thank you. Marilyn?
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were speaking, my first question was, what does sustainability mean? Because You know,
Sure.
I mean, you're talking, what I'm hearing you say is more of definitely large scale. And like Paul said, complex, costly. And if we're going to get into something like that, we definitely need to start with, you know, listening to some experts and increasing our knowledge base. But I was wondering if we talk about on the scale up to water sustainability, what about water conservation?
Yeah.
And what about here in Rossmore, really focusing specifically on that issue and looking at, like when you mentioned the golf course, Barry, how much water is relative to total water use in Rossmore, how much water is used for the golf course? How much water is used for landscape? How much water is used for domestic water use within our manors? I mean, is there any way to actually become more knowledgeable about how much water is used for different purposes, and then also then start looking at conservation and also reclamation, you know? But I think we need to first, you know, increase our knowledge base. I mean, I just made some notes here in terms of water, you know, rainwater reclamation, sprinkler conversion, sustainable landscape, tree planting, tree preservation, water recycling, which you said is on hold. But I mean, there's a lot of different aspects of water sustainability that we could study and possibly really focus on as a committee. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you, Marilyn. Paula.
I have a quick question. You mentioned that the refineries didn't want to use the reclaimed or recycled water that Martinez had installed this plant to produce.
Yeah, I'm not sure the politics of how that
Well,
occurred.
what did the refineries use? I mean, you said they
built their own.
They made their own.
They built their own water recycling.
Do you know why?
No, I don't know. My best guess is just a guess. Is have a secure supply that they didn't have to rely on
But
the municipality.
Is it seawater or salt
No.
water, or is it recycled sewage water?
Recycled sewage water.
Recycled sewage. Well, they're getting that sewage from somewhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, that means it's from people. It's
Yeah.
from the cities around the refineries. It's from somebody.
Yep.
And, you know, that was always my understanding, that Central Sanitation had made a commitment to the refineries, and they are not happy with Rossmore's idea of using their own sewage and reclaiming that water, because they are committed by contract to sell that sewage essentially to the refineries. That's one of the refinery supply sources, is sewage. And they can't, so Central Sanitation doesn't want to give that sewage up and let Rossmore use our own sewage for our own needs. So that being said, that's
Right.
what I've heard. I don't know if
Well,
that's
no,
true.
I think that's probably true. Once it's sewage, it belongs to them.
Yeah.
We can't, right, we have to claim it upstream of that.
That's hard to do. Okay.
Right.
All right. I just wanted to clarify.
It's
what
part
you
of the
do.
politics.
You know, there's so much information floating around out about this over the years. It's hard to
Right.
figure out what factually is still true.
Right. And Marilyn, you had raised a very difficult but central question about what we mean by sustainability in this case, because you'll get different answers depending on your definition. If you're talking about sustaining a lifestyle, then you're not going to be conserving water. You're going to be using it to maintain the golf, this golf community that we have. If you're talking about sustainability as we get to hotter and hotter summers, then you're talking about making changes. So depending on your definition, you get to different solutions. I think that most people would like to minimize the changes to the status quo, that is the easiest sell for most people. And
What do you mean by that?
I mean, maintaining Rossmore as it is, a golf community with all of the landscaping that is here, whether it's native or not. Maintain this, and that's not necessarily what resonates with us as sustainable Rossmore. Paul.
Well, I completely resonate with your question, Marilyn, and I think it's the $64,000 question. And so to put my cards on the table, I love living in Rossmore. We've lived here for a year. I love the landscape here, but I think it is the question of what is the status quo is generally out of our hands. And Mother Nature has her own ideas about what will be sustainable in the future. And I would really like to encourage us to think about that, not how do we maintain a lifestyle that we currently enjoy here. And some people enjoy it in particular ways. I don't happen to be a golfer, but I get why people like living here for that reason. But I don't think we have the luxury of indulging that fantasy. And to me, it is a fantasy. And I would like to see us be a bit more hard-headed about what the future is likely to look like, and therefore what our water supply might look like and how to fit our needs to that supply rather than the other way around.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, okay. I think that this is a great start of a committee, but I think we're going to want to get our groups back together here, so we can give final instructions and on what to do with these starting committees, and declare a momentary victory, at least knowing what the interest is of our people.
So what is our plan here? I mean, literally, what's your next
okay
step?
So next step, well, we'll give an answer when we re-meet, because I'm going to close all the rooms now so that we can give final instructions to people. Okay. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good discussion. So we should leave.
Everybody's back.
Brad, do we have instructions?
Like warp speed.
Yes.
Yeah, transported warp speed.
Does everybody have poem?
Okay.
Yes.
Can we continue or not?
Well, no, we are rejoined together. We've closed the breakout rooms. We hope that you had productive discussions. But Brad, do you want to say what the next steps are? It seems like the interests were in First Mutual solar,
Right.
plant-based beef.
Yep. And it sounds like the Casey's agreed that topic does rightfully should rightfully reside under the plant-based eating committee.
Great. That's great to hear. So then we have two new, and the First Mutual solar resides
exactly.
under solar.
And reducing food waste, I think, is going to
other
be
one.
yep under trash talkers.
Okay, So then the other is water sustainability would
I
be,
think, yeah, right. So water sustainability was in effect a new one, I believe.
Mhm. Okay. I-
In Carol's, item number 5, the Walnut Creek Climate Emergency is, that's up and running. She's going to drive that one.
okay.
I mean, that one's by definition is a relatively short-lived campaign, which is
Mhm.
fine. We're gonna
Okay.
have some of those.
Okay.
Likewise, the idle-free zone is gonna be and so I think we've got. I think we did what we set out to do, which was to to gin up interest and movement on addressing some new campaign topics and to coalesce support and build additional momentum for some existing campaign topics.
Hey, Carol has a question.
No, a comment.
Oh.
I want to revise something I said. Before we started tonight, I thought that food waste is something that Trash Talkers is already dealing with. To a minor extent, that's true, and we organized a workshop on it. But it occurs to me that there are people in Rossmore who may not be that interested in recycling, or that time of that meeting doesn't work for them. So we might actually want to consider having a separate committee.
That's probably true. Okay.
Because it really is different. And if they have to sit through all this discussion from other people waiting to talk about, how do you recycle this, that, and the other before they get to food waste, it's
okay.
There might be some value. I think at least in the beginning, start with a separate committee and see if it makes sense.
Okay. What are our next steps, Brad?
And so we did, again, looking at our instructions again, I'm presuming, and I'm willing to bet that each of the groups did in fact have a scribe and captured the name and contact info for everybody that was in their breakout room and that expressed interest in working on that topic, right? And so, and you also selected a acting committee chair if it was a new campaign. I mean, obviously, for ones that are existing campaigns, like the First Mutual, solar, Adrian's got that one covered, I'm sure. And so then Carol's going to handle the food waste. Dave and Amanda, have the plant-based beef, etc.
Actually, it's Patty Harrington who's handling
You're
food
right.
waste.
Okay. And so
I'm the scribe, so I am right now coming up with our little directory.
right, and so the next step is for each of the the groups that want to move forward with that topic is for the acting committee chair to call the first meeting, and during the first meeting, the people can decide who is going to be the chair of that committee going forward.
Since the water sustainability group, we got a scribe, but we did not get an acting chair. I will set up the
draft Paul.
No, I'll Paul, are you willing to set up the first meeting?
I'm pretty swamped with a lot.
Oh, you just muted yourself.
I'm pretty swamped with a lot of things on my plate right now. I'm happy to participate on the group.
Okay, I will. Okay, I will. I'll schedule the first meeting, so we can figure out what's what.
You can always draft that Erickson woman.
Well, okay.
You're muted, Paula.
I'm keeping her muted so that
I was the note taker. I was the scribe.
Okay, and you get points for that.
Okay. I'm thrilled with how this turned out. So
yeah,
people chose on their own what to focus on, and if you have an existing chairperson, then that chairperson should add the people who expressed interest onto your list and then further invite develop their interest.
And so my request is a couple fold. One is for each of the scribes and or the acting chair of each group, just, quickly write up, list of the name of your group, the, who the members are and who the acting chair is, and send, email that to me and Barry. Because then what we'll do is we'll take that and we'll put that together with an overarching letter to send it out to everyone else, because clearly there are 25 or so of us here tonight, but on our email distribution list, we've got 384 names. And so obviously, there's a lot more people out there that hopefully are going to be interested in one or more of these campaign topics to work on that weren't here tonight. So by getting that to us, we can get it out to them, explain why it's important, which one they ought to take, and we'll send them a link to the recording for the meeting tonight if they're brave enough to watch it. Okay.
Okay, so scribes, please send the contact information to the chair, to us as well, and we're going to launch it to the membership at large, a much larger number, to see who else we can develop interest in these topics.
And because I would be willing to bet we can probably double the number of people, new people for each topic from what we had tonight, just by tapping into and we'll hit them a couple times. So so just be aware that there'll be some emails coming your way, about this.
I want to share an idea that Barbara Conan came up with in our group, and that is that we should be meaning mostly Dan McGregor, I think Don McGregor, it's going to turn out to be, is to load up things on our website, on our YouTube channel. Because right now, Barry sends out the link to a meeting and it disappears in my email thing. People who might have wanted it never saw it. People who think, oh, I heard about this group called Sustainable Rossmoor. I wonder what they're doing. Why don't we just have a whole bunch of programs on our YouTube channel that could be meetings, or at least the webinars that we do. So anyway.
Yep. And so I think, Carol, I think it's a good point. And so we should.
Not me. It's Barbara Conan gets full
No.
credit.
But you were talking. What I was going to say is, you're absolutely right. One of the things that we as a group, and especially as a steering committee, will do a better job and will work on is making better use of the technology that we have, to run the club better and get the message out better. Between our website, YouTube channel, etc. Okay.
I want to thank each of the committee chairs for the prep work that they did for this meeting. There was a lot of people did a lot. You could see from the slides and people talking. So I appreciate their indulging us and coming forward with what I think was a very worthwhile program tonight. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And then Don, did you want to talk about some things that you need that we can, since we've got most. Go ahead.
Thanks, Brad. Yes. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Earth Month and planning for Earth Month in April. And continuing on with what we've done tonight, this rededication and people the committee chairs talking about the group. My idea about Earth Month, and I really hope that it might get the whole committee behind this, but what I would like to see is we go for the entire month and incorporating Arbor Day with the tree planting in Preservation Committee by having forums and weekly forums. And this is following up with an idea that Brad had about doing Rossmoor-wide Zoom calls. And so during Earth Month, I think that the time is just really right for us to be doing like an open house to all of the Rossmore community and having a Rossmore-wide forum for each of the committees to speak for 30 minutes or 60 minutes on a set day each week of Earth Month of April, and that this would be open, and we have yet to determine a time, but I'd love to work with each of the committee heads to develop something, and we will put forth a program for each week of April during Earth Month, as well as to develop additional activities that we might be able to have outdoors, something like that, but really to focus on that to stretch the 4 weeks. And of course, the big idea is to have the electric vehicle caravan, which we do on Earth Day or something like that. But I need some help with this, and Marilyn Schuyler, fortunately, has stepped up with some big help. And so please contact me with ideas, but also that you can volunteer as well. Thanks
Great.
very much.
Great, and thank you very much, Don. And I've got to confess that that there's already some debate, hot debate, and a contest in our family here as to which one of us gets to drive the car in the EV parade.
Well, that might be a forum topic itself.
Yes. Nace Rubilo and his wife each have one, so they've got to both be in the. This is going to be fun. It's not uncommon that for people to have two.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, I've seen you drive, Brad, so I think Paula should do it.
I know Paula should do it. She's trying to make me do it. I go, no.
Carol, you said there's 198 electric vehicles here at Rossmore? That's
There
a big
was
caravan.
about a week ago when Dennis Bell put the numbers on a report that he did for GRF. Somewhere.
I thought it was over 200.
Okay, it could have expanded. I'm giving you
Yeah,
information
it's
that's
a larger
about 2 weeks
number.
old.
It was a large number.
Yeah, something 256 or.
No. Couldn't have been that.
Well, we'll find the
In
answer
2
to
weeks,
you.
but whatever.
Okay.
It's at least
Okay.
200. Put it that way.
It's 8:36. I think we accomplished a lot. I don't think we should.
I have a question, please.
Okay,
Yes,
Joy.
go ahead, Joy.
Does anyone know if the organization has a roster of people with their emails, or do we have to just go to the Rossmore phone book to find people's addresses and phone?
Yes, we happen to know the answer to that.
Okay.
Don't we, Paula? Yes, yes. We have a list of people who. Actually, we've got two different lists, two different sources. Paula maintains the list of members, and then we've also got we can pull out of our email program called MailChimp a list of everybody who has given us their email and that we send an email to. And so if you don't have to go to the phone book to get.
So is that available to others? Or
No, it's not available to other people.
That's what I wondered.
Absolutely not.
No.
We discussed that at a
Steering
meeting.
committee.
I mean, the way you'd have to do it is send an email to that person and say, Joy Danzig wants to get in touch with you. Here's her contact information if you want to respond. So it would have to be that way.
In other words, through the steering committee.
Through the membership person who has a list of all the members.
And who
One
is
more,
that person?
one more thing for Paula to do.
Oh, it's Paula. Oh.
Paula.
Did you?
Okay.
I need to ask a question. Joy, were you just trying to send people some emails?
Well, I just wanted to know if I wanted to contact somebody via email. I mean, I see a lot of people send email to the Google group and I get them that way. But
yeah,
like for instance, in our little congregation here, B'nai Israel, the Jewish community, we have a big, sheet with everybody's address and their name and their email and their phone number. It's a directory.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's very useful, but I understand that every organization has to make that decision based on privacy.
privacy, yeah, yeah,
So, okay, I just
Okay.
wondered.
Okay.
Fine.
okay.
Okay. Unless anybody's got anything else, I think we'll call it a successful meeting and
Yeah.
thank you all for your,
Thank
for
you
your,
very
for your
much.
help.
Thanks. Thank you and Barry for organizing it.
Oh, you're
Especially,
welcome.
Sure.
especially Barry. It took him all the work. He's thanking each of us.
Yeah, that was a
Thank you, Barry.
great,
Thank you, Barry. Yay, Barry.
Gary.
Hey,
Great meeting, great meeting.
Thank you.
What a team.
it was, but this is gonna be a good and productive year for us.
Yeah.
My
Very
grandchildren, thank you.
Very good.
Good night, everybody.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for your help.
Right.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, I can remember to save the chat.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
But I have to admit, I didn't start the recording until Richard's successes. So we missed that. We missed most of that part, but we got all the new stuff.
Okay. And then unfortunately, one of the downsides is when people go off to the breakout room, you don't record any of that.
No.
Yeah.
But we recorded the breakout rooms that I was in. Paul, you're muted.
Yeah, you still muted, Paul.
Yeah, I should have started doing that. I didn't think of it. Oh, well.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
you
either.
want me to send you the summaries of our First Mutual Solar Initiative?
Yeah, if you have it.
I
Yeah, we
guess
want-
I was the self-appointed scribe.
Great. Well, thank you. That had a lot of interest. I love how people were able to just choose what they wanted to go to.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great.
I gotta confess, Barry, that the meeting tonight was more successful than I was expecting.
It was more successful than I was expecting
Yeah.
as well. So we can pat ourselves on the back, but we
Yay.
can't rest on our laurels
no.
for very long.
Like,
The,
we can for another 5 minutes.
Oh, give yourself till 9.
Thanks, Paul.
Good night.
Good night. Take care. I'm going to end it. Bye-bye.
Bye.